Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights, end of year observations. Not going to do resolutions at this point, just reflecting back. It's been an interesting year for the hobby. Obviously, lots of big news. I won't say affecting me as much as affecting the hobby, but if some of the things have my name on it, that's a big deal, at least to me. First of all, I just want to say I'm re-upping for another year of doing the podcast. It's not like I have a countdown clock on my podcast, but I've been doing it for a number of years. I think the end is in sight. I don't know that it's this year, next year, whatever, but I think I need to be more aggressive, more earnest about seeking out people I want to interview, topics I want to tackle. So I'm throwing it back out to you as I try to be a little more aggressive about how I take on topics and interviews. If you've got some people I need to talk to or suggestions for things that have not been dealt with, I'm game. I'm realizing that if I don't say it, I'm trying to create oral history for our hobby. And especially when things from the past, I think, can have an effect on the present and the future. Reach out to me, again, drjamesbeckett@gmail.com, or see me at a show or at the National, or tell Rich. But like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more out there now, thinking that there'll come a time that I won't either be able to do it or won't want to do it. And so let me be more aggressive about getting things out there. It turns out that after I got a lot of comments from some of the episodes that were more controversial, I started getting, not flooded, but I got a lot more inquiries from other podcasters, not sports card people, who said, hey, you need to have me on your show because I'm a real estate flipper or something like that. I thought, I'm not sure what the connection is there. So I politely said, no, thank you. But it's interesting when all of a sudden you get a lot of comments or something like that, it makes it look like, hey, this guy is looking to make waves. I'm Sports Card Insights. If it's not going to be helpful, even if it's something that's going to be touchy, I want to deal with it in a positive manner, but I'm going to deal with it. Mail days, I've gotten some things, really can't call them racks, random acts of kindness. I think people have been kind and generous to me and thoughtful, and I appreciate that. I mentioned that I got my first PSA card from Nat Turner when he came over, and that was kind, a little bittersweet. I'm still going to be a BGS grader of choice as long as they're still cranking them out. But no offense, Nat, the thought very much appreciated. And then I've got some other nice things. And when I get something nice enough to go on my wall, then I want to put it in a BGS slab. I got another custom card from Tanner Jones, Phil Pierce has been kind, John Keating, Bobby Baseball, Dane Conan. I'm sure I'm leaving out a bunch, but there have been a number of, I take it personally in the sense that it's not random. It's somebody being very thoughtful, and I appreciate it. I just recently got a box of NASCAR Panini Prism, and I was very pleased that my friends at Panini, as they sponsor the podcast, they are very faithful. I've gotten stuff in the past from Topps. I've gotten stuff more frequently from Upper Deck. Again, very much appreciated, but I'm trying to keep up with all the companies. Don't try to play favorites, but Panini's trying harder. They're trying harder because the time's running out on their football now. But NASCAR, just tell you, if it's $139 a box, which is what I've seen, that's a bargain. And the reason it is because you can't hit a home run in that box. And so my Christmas hope for Panini is that they can find favor with Teresa Earnhardt, who controls Dale Earnhardt Enterprises or whatever it is, that Dale Sr. She has the key to Dale Earnhardt, deceased now for 25 years or so, autographs. It could be canceled checks. It could be cut out. Any number of things. But to get Dale Earnhardt Sr. autographs into the product would, and I don't think collectors would complain. I don't know if it would double the price of the box, but it would certainly give a pretty exciting chase element. Now, the other chase element for NASCAR could be the most difficult or most valuable autograph you could get is if they could somehow get Michael Jordan, who's obviously an owner connected to NASCAR, but he's pretty locked down with Upper Deck, and I've heard Fanatics has interest. Everybody would have interest, but he's a NASCAR personality, and that'd be great. You need something. The chase for the boxes is based on what's the best thing you can get. And I'm a big fan of Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty, all good guys, except that as I open the box, I just think, how is this $139 a box? If this were basketball or football or baseball, it'd be way more. But thank you, NASCAR drivers, for being reasonable. Not to say that baseball, football, and basketball aren't reasonable, but the price has been driven up pretty high. And frankly, the length of careers. The NASCAR drivers have a long career. Hockey players have a longer career. Basketball, especially football, a short career. They've got to make it while they can. So I don't disrespect that. I also picked up, just for fun, a little Christmas present for myself. I got some factory sets from an auction that were reasonably recent, that were the retail factory sets. The headache is they're not in numerical order, but I enjoy resorting them or looking through them. But they were the factory sets that have the chance that all of them could be one of ones, or all of them could be numbered to 99. So you could get a complete parallel set. And I thought, and it was a 1 in 3 chance. I thought, I'll buy 3 sets. So I bought 3 sets. Again, it's not a good deal. Okay. Again, if I had gotten to the 1 of 1 set, that would have been spectacular. But that is extremely unlikely and not something to bet that you're going to get. So I did get some parallels, but not the numbered parallels. And so I wasn't upset because I got enjoyment. And then the other thing I get that I realize that I look for when I buy things like that is I get a learning experience. I got to open it up, go through the players, remember who the rookies are and all that. I got a number of Christmas cards and holiday cards from people. And there was one of them that I'm still mystified. I'm pretty sure it's not somebody in the hobby. I'm not going to say the name, but it was a very nice Christmas card. But I have no idea who this person is. There's nothing in there that I can connect to the hobby. It's an address that I don't know anybody in that town. I just am mystified. But I want to thank the person nonetheless, although I don't know how to thank them. I'm not going to write them back. It could be I don't think it's a scam. I don't think they're phishing, but I get a lot of emails that I don't respond to, that I don't answer because I don't know the person or I don't trust the bounce back. I'm going to do more podcasts. And when things are controversial, I think you're really not entitled to your own set of facts. There should be one set of facts, but you are entitled to your own opinion. On the other hand, all opinions are not equal. And some opinions are wrong. They're based on facts. They're not true. So I'm trying to give my opinions, and they're based on my experiences. I was listening when a lot of podcasters, a lot of content creators were talking about collectors, that is PSA's acquisition of Beckett Collectibles, Beckett grading. A lot of opinions, but I'm not sure those opinions are coming from anybody that's ever bought or sold a company. And I have. And I have my friend groups are guys and women who have done that, have been on the buying end, on the selling end for reasonably sized companies that would be consistent with what that is. And I just say, it's like you want to make the hobby a game of skill, not luck. And I really think if you're listening to opinions, consider the source and consider their experience, their background, their credibility. Again, that was a big part of the success of our price guides back in the day, as we considered the source. We looked at all empirical data, but not all of it was equally even valid. Right after PSA acquired BGS, and I'm using that in the short form, that like the day or two later, I got a private message from a guy that I don't know with not his real name saying, oh, by the way, you were implicated in a data dump. We have your address. We have your phone number. And I thought, okay, I don't know that I was in Probstein's database, although, like I said, I helped a friend there. But that data was compromised. I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over people knowing where I live. We have great security. We have insurance. I don't think anybody's going to do anything terrible in our neighborhood, but I don't think I was being extorted, but it's like a scare tactic. Hey, we know who you are. We know where you live. Yeah, a lot of people know where I live. In fact, I've had hobby dinners over here, so I'm not inviting the whole world over. There's a 99.9% great people in this industry, in this hobby. On the treadmill, I've been watching Stranger Things, catching up. I'd watched all the previous episodes. I don't know that it's jumped the shark, but again, I'm Sports Card Insights. That doesn't mean I can't watch TV shows that are not sports, but I'm just not going to buy the product. To have some autograph or game used, I don't even know what that would be for Stranger Things. I like some of the characters, and that'd be interesting, but I'm not going to find anything good in a dollar box, and I'm not going to buy the unopened product, so I'm probably not going to get it, and I'm okay with that. I have to have a lane. In fact, I've got episodes that I've been prepping that are just, what is my lane? What is my selling lane? What is my buying lane? What is yours? It'd be sad if I lost something, or if something was stolen or burned up or flooded or even sold. I want to make the distinction that even when I sell something, there's a loss there. And over the last year, reflecting back, I'm sure I have 1% a month. That's 12% over the course of the year. Absolutely have I reduced by 12%, even more. I can't calculate it exactly because some of it's more by weight or by cubic feet than by numbers of cards, because I'm really trying to get rid of a lot of quantity. But I can just say none of that was badly missed. I like all cards, and some of them, yeah, I might have a little twinge, but I'm definitely not going to buy it back. Once something is lost or is gone or is out of sight, it's out of mind. Not only I don't intend to get it back. And if it was destroyed in a fire, even if I got the insurance money, it just would be too emotional to try to get it back. So what am I doing? Making sure that I'm fireproofed and I'm theft-proofed. And that's been great. I believe my cards will stand the test of time. Nat Turner was talking about, and others have talked about, do you want to have the Beckett collection? And I felt saying that I'd like to do that with BGS, not with PSA, but no offense. But who knows? I may mellow over the years. Like I said, I'm very optimistic that the PSA and collectors' ownership of BGS will be a very positive thing. And then another really cool thing happened. My good buddy Jimmy Spence, the dad Jimmy Spence, not Jimbo, but he texted me and said, look at this. And it was an autograph request from me to a Hall of Famer on a 3x5 card. So on the front of it is the return that I'm sure came back to me, and then I sold at some point. I'll tell you what, that was about 50 years ago, because this Hall of Famer is long dead, and my handwriting does not look like that anymore. So this is probably from the mid-70s. So it could be 75, could be 74, could be 76. So you're talking 50 years ago. And I don't know, Jimmy, if you're going to try to get a premium, maybe you were just authenticating it. Maybe somebody else owns it. I'm not going to buy it back because, like I said, once I release something, it's somebody else's. But that was cool to see my own writing from, I think, almost exactly 50 years ago. And I don't think I have anymore. I think I used to send out regular baseball cards, and my request was, please sign my cards, plural. So back in the old days, you could send not a whole bunch. You get it in a first-class mail, so you could put a few cards in there and request that they sign them. And usually they didn't keep the cards. They sent them back. They weren't fast about it. But that was cool. That certainly wasn't the highlight of my year, but it was a good thing. I'll have some interesting episodes coming up. And if you've got ideas who I can interview as well as topics I can take on, I think I'm going to get a little more into the business side and the financial side. I joked with Jeff Wilson many years ago, and I just said my alternative title was not Sports Card Insights, it was Sports Card Investments. And I thought, I'm really not the investment guy, even though I did the price guides. Of course, he went on to great success with the sports card investor, and I think that's great. And I'm more of an insights guy. So more insights probably about the business side, especially weaving in, as you found out, that I have a take on shill bidding based on the way I looked at it many years ago doing the price guides. But there's other ways market manipulation occurs, and I'm going to address some of those. And you can get mad about it, but I'm going to keep the conversation constructive as much as I can, that you can know what to look for, how to prevent getting fooled, as well as how to discover who the bad guys are. Anyway, thanks everybody, and Happy New Year, and I will keep going.